Hi, welcome back to Art Girl and Film Girl. I am Jenny, the host.
And I am Ruby, the co host. And we have a special guest here, Nico.
Hello, I'm Neco. I'm 22. I'm a filmmaker, but currently I work as a producer for yeah. So
Yay! We are excited to have you here today.
Yeah.
thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, so today the episode we're just gonna ask Nico some questions in the film industry, and this will be very exciting for me because I'm a film girl. So yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go for it.
So okay, Ruby, you ask the first question.
What inspired you to start filming or like film?
So what inspired me to start filming? Well, growing up, my mom had a big VHS collection, which I still have with me. I have them literally everywhere in my room. I have like 20 trillion different movies. And so, yeah, we would watch films growing up, and she would take me to movies after school and things like that. And over time, that just became a passion of mine. And here I am now, doing that most of the time. Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead, Jenny. Ask the question.
Okay. Um, what's your favorite thing about film?
What's my favorite part about film? I feel like I don't have a particular favorite part. I think it's more so about the whole process because film is very much a collaborative effort, right? Even to like a really small indie scale, it's all about what you can accomplish with so little, and how you can utilize all your resources around you. And I think that taking everything into consideration, I feel like that's what makes film beautiful. Is that you could have a 100-man crew, a 5-man crew, but the fact that you have all these people, all these heads working together to create like a piece of art is something that is so beautiful and so prestige.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. I feel like film is also part of art, and that's why I like art.
Yeah, it's like a
You
Mm-hmm.
type of art because
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
in a film, of course, it's a story that you show to people, right? It's a type of art in a way.
And
Oh,
It's really
definitely.
creative,
you can literally make anything into art as film.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. I mean, it's all subjective at the end of the day, right? There's no like one set way to make a movie or paint a painting or whatever. It's all based off one's like imagination and creativity, right?
yeah.
Hmm. Right, for me, for film, I always said my favorite thing about film was like the directing and the screenwriting part of it, because
Mm-hmm.
that's like my favorite part. But ever since I started like saying like other positions, I guess, like the production designing part of it, I started enjoying that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, my focus is like director screenwriting because that's what I always liked. But at the end of the day, after just working with people, I like every part of it.
That's good though. That's healthy because I feel like, especially with directing and screenwriting, it's important that you understand the film process and you understand everything that goes into it. Because then I think that'll better influence you when you're like writing stuff, directing stuff, like, whatever, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, what is one of your favorite characters in the movie that you look up to?
Damn, that's a good question. One of my favorite characters in a movie that I look up to.
Yeah.
Damn. Hold on. I gotta actually think about this one because I feel like the issue is like okay, my favorite films, right? Like that list changes from day to day, and so with that, so do my like my favorite characters. Um, if I had to choose one, there's this film called A Scene at the Sea. A Scene at the Sea. It's a 1990 romance drama, sort of, kind of, but the main character. Let me get his name real quick so that I don't mess this up. A Scene at the Sea. Uh, his name is Shiguri. Shigeru.
She
And
get
basically, yeah, Shigeru. Oh, it's a romance sport, what it says. But basically, what the film is about, it's about this mute guy who just learns how to surf. And I feel like what I really like about the film is that it is a very simplistic story. it is a very sweet, bittersweet movie, and I feel like it shows you the everyday beauties of just being alive, and I feel like I look up to that because this is a very like obviously it's a very rigorous industry. You know, you have to work
Yeah.
like crazy, and I kind of envy that very peaceful, carefree lifestyle that he has in the film, and you know that people have in real life, and I feel like I look up to that, and like that's the ultimate goal is just to like live life every day and just be as happy as you can be with that, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, so many people would be happy looking at their favorite character whenever they're sad or they're angry. They
Mm-hmm.
just look up to that one person.
Of course, you know it's like it's. I mean, it's a comforting thing, right? You know, it's yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's me.
Mm-hmm.
I always mention this. Ruby and Nico, you already know this. Julian the Phantoms.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like literally. I was like, all the characters there are my comfort characters. I was just like, to live any of them, I'll be happy.
That's a good
or
answer. Sick answer.
or even to meet them in person.
Even
Oh
better.
yeah.
I already did that though.
Ooh. Oh, you did. Oh, yeah, you did.
Not all of them, but most of them. I already met them in person.
You want to talk about that? Have you talked about it already?
No, I haven't. I mean, okay, let's say that show came out in 2020 on Netflix. In 2021, I guess the main character and the one who plays her best friend, which is
Mm-hmm.
Madison Reyes and Jada Marie, they were having the meetup pop up basically in LA. So all I did was buy the ticket and went. I didn't
There you
even
go.
care about
Hey.
it. I just went because I was like, I just need a chance to meet them.
Did you
And
get?
Mm-hmm.
that was amazing though. They were really nice, and all I got was like an autograph and a picture, and that's it basically. And then in 2022, one of them is a solo artist, and I went to their concert.
Oh
I got
shoot. There you go.
I got VIP tickets too because they were not that expensive. They were just $80, so that was a good deal for a VIP ticket.
That's
So
awesome.
I went to that, and then there was two characters from that show that were on the concert too. They were in the
Oh,
audience.
there you go. Uh
There
huh.
you go. So I took a picture with all of them, and then I took a picture of one of their wife, even though she's not famous. But I'm like, why not?
Why not? You know? Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's still my favorite part of my life experiences, and yeah. So then I'm still with that show, and even though it got canceled, I'm like, that's still my favorite show. I'm still there.
Yeah, I feel like so many movies have shut down, but people still watch them.
It's my
It's
phone
people
case.
still enjoy them.
It's my phone case. So
There you go. I mean, yeah.
yeah.
You know, film shows they all build like cult followings over time, right?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Anyways,
But
yeah,
then it's also my favorite director, so of course I loved it.
There you go.
it's your favorite film, but I don't know who your favorite character is.
All of them.
I,
All of them.
All of
you
them. There's no
all
singular answer.
Let's see. Hmm. What is your focus on the field of film?
So my focus is directing, mostly directing. As of right now, though, I've been doing a lot of producing, a lot of writing, a lot of camera operating, but ideally directing is like that's the sweet spot that I wanna get into. You know?
Same here. I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
What's one movie that you would recommend to other people to watch?
Oh my God, that's. Can I do like four or five? I have like too many answers for that.
Yes, you may.
Okay, let's see. 12 Monkeys. That's a really good film. Um, let's see. 12 Monkeys. Pacific Rim, of course. Love that film. Let's see. Anything by Studio Ghibli, specifically Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind. If I have to like give like one answer, let's see. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's a good film. The Holdovers is a great modern masterpiece in my opinion. And then anything by Wong Kar Wai Kai. Oops. aka like like Fallen Angels, Chungking Express, In the Mood for Love. Any of those. Yeah,
Mm,
I don't. There's way too many films to not just
yeah.
recommend all of them.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, anyways.
There's some really good ones out there. So.
Yeah, there is.
that's the issue. Yeah.
Have you heard
One.
about the one with the shooting where this guy goes, say hello to my little friend or something?
Oh, Scarface.
Yeah,
Yes.
Scarface. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of
That,
course. Classic.
yeah. Anyways, go ahead, Jenny.
I mean, if it was me, I'd be like, go watch a musical.
I think you told me once to go watch the Dueling and the Phantom.
Well, it's a musical, so yes. Ruby, you still need to watch that.
You still haven't
Anyway.
seen it? Damn.
No.
Tough.
Like, bro, it's been out since
It's tough.
2020. What are you doing?
You've had 5 years to catch up to that. It's tough. It's tough.
The only one that I watch for that's musical is High School Musical.
That's good too.
That's the only one.
Fair enough. Those are good though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fair enough.
I still watch them now. Just to feel. I mean, I know
I mean,
the song, just singing along.
They're still good though. They're still good. You can't lie.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just go on Disney Plus and then watch the Disney Channel musicals. I'm just like, I'm gonna go back to that.
Are you a fan of the? Are you a fan of the show? I don't know if it's still going on.
Which one?
The High School Musical show. The one that what's her face was in. Olivia Rodrigo was in it. I don't know. The new one.
Oh, that ruined my. That ruined me in so many different ways. But I mean, I watched the whole thing, and I feel like there was 4 seasons in total. Season 1 to 3, hated them. Season 4 was the only one that actually was kind of good.
Tough.
Yeah,
It only took 4 seasons. It only took 4 seasons to get good.
Yeah, I was like, I would not even watch that. The original is better.
Mhm.
Yeah, the original is always better.
Exactly. I feel like it was Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens. Even though my favorite character was Sharpay, but still. Yeah, actually, too, though.
It to me was a pain in the ass to me, but I still love her.
I think I liked her. She was blonde.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to be blonde my whole life. So there
My
you go.
least,
There you go.
the most funniest part is when she was trying to steal Troy from Gabriella. She's like, "Come here."
You know what? She's just doing her thing. She knows what she wants.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I like about her. She knows what she
Other
wants.
people are like, "Man,
I had a crush on Troy
her
too. So.
treated Troy better than Gabriella because Gabriella only was just wanting to argue with him."
Tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could agree with you. Anyways, go ahead, Jenny.
Okay. What type of challenges did you face while going into film?
Oh, what didn't anybody face? I feel like film is such a lucrative industry that just the idea of going into it for a lot of people is a big turnoff because it's like, when you're looking at like career choices, right? Everybody's like always looking at money, right? That's the first thing. And so obviously with film, like if you want to make money, you gotta
Work for it.
really, yeah. It's tough, right? It's not the most stable career path, but I think that like in itself is probably the biggest challenge is like the idea of like damn, you have to work over, you have to, you can't, it's not just a normal like 9 to 5, you have to lose a lot of sleep, you have to spend a lot of time of your life doing this because obviously like a lot of people want to get into it, and so you just got to prove that you want it, you got to prove that you deserve a place in the industry and whatnot.
Yeah.
I remember like the first time I got into film, I was like scared. I was like, I'm scared now. But
I mean, it's real,
I really want it. I have to work, and I just went forward and forward till I got there.
That's the way to go.
Film can be scary depending on how you create it.
True.
Yeah.
Like if you were to be able to jump off a building but fakefully, then that would be scary to me.
Hey, I mean, you know what? It's part of the process, though. You gotta live life sometimes.
Yeah, you do. Doesn't matter what, but it's. I mean, that's the point of why we're alive. You have to
But
live
like
life.
I'm talking about movie wise.
Either way,
Still, yeah.
way. It's still like you still have to live life the way.
I could agree. Okay. What did you learn about any movie that you watched?
Okay. Well, I mean, I think like I'll give a pretty specific answer. It's not a particular movie, but like Studio Ghibli films, right, tend to share a lot of the same, universal themes, right? They're very environmentalist like movies. They're very like slice of life movies. So like for me, I feel
Yeah.
like those films do a very good job at like teaching me how to just like enjoy life and stuff, because I feel like those films are just so beautiful and just show how beautiful life can be, and especially in relation to like taking care of like the environment, taking care of the planet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that in itself is probably like the biggest life lesson that I've taken from most films that I've seen is that just how to live life.
How to live life. That's
Hmm.
another thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I feel like people would probably understand that.
Yeah, you'd think more people would understand it though, you
Yeah, I
know.
know. Most people would understand.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. It's just like
Yeah, I know. Alright, next question.
anyway. Um, who would you love to work with and why?
That's a good question. I would have to say, I mean, honestly, like, I would love to work with like an anime studio, because I feel like as you know, I don't know, like obviously American animation studios are good, but there's just something so like it's a different ballpark, right, across the world. Japan's industry is so huge, and I feel like just getting the chance to like do anything in that realm, what I feel like would be so cool. If I had to pick a specific person, I there's this anime Japanese director. His name is Shinichiro Watanabe. He did Cowboy Bebop. He did some stuff for Blade Runner, Samurai Champloo, stuff like that. Right, mostly anime, but he's done work in American media, and a lot of his work is already influenced by like the Western stuff. So I feel like getting to work with like him, for example, would be like the dream, like the dream, because he's like, I don't know, I grew up with him. I love his work. I have a Cowboy Bebop poster literally right there,
Ooh,
so I feel like that would be sick.
He
wow, amazing.
loves anime.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, since you like anime, what is which anime have you already watched?
What haven't I watched? I've seen too many. I've seen everything. That whole shelf over there is just like anime stuff. So like that's
I
from
think
One Piece.
One Piece.
What was
Oh,
that?
One Piece is awesome.
Love
I
One Piece. You seen it?
Yeah, I have.
Peak. Obviously, Cowboy Bebop's there. There's a bunch of other stuff there, but like, I don't know. I've seen everything. Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Bebop,
Was that one?
Evangelion, everything.
Everything. Everything.
I think I need to
Literally
go.
everything.
You guys heard it here
Yeah,
first. We watched everything.
I watched
every
nothing.
show that's you gotta hop on that. That
I haven't watched any
She
anime in my life.
doesn't like anime.
No,
ah,
it's
dude,
not
you're missing out.
I just watched it once before and did not come interest at all.
But it's
Um,
I mean, but it's the same thing as like American movies, American shows. There's so much like variety out there.
yeah.
Exactly.
I loved anime too. My favorite one is Demon Slayer. Obviously, Demon Slayer.
Ah, peak.
I heard so much about that one.
Demon Slayer is really good. Demon Slayer is
Demon
really good.
Slayer.
I have to catch up though. I haven't watched it since like what was it, the Mugen Train arc? So it's been a while. Yeah.
For me, I'm rewatching it because I really
Hmm.
enjoy watching Demon Slayer.
I mean, fair, you know.
True.
mm, okay. What is your favorite anime line that you really enjoy?
Oh my gosh, my favorite anime line, specific quote.
And why do you enjoy it so much?
Damn, that is a good question. Anything by Luffy, I guess. By Monkey D. Luffy. I feel like he just, I don't know. I find myself like repeating like whatever he's saying, just because he's such a crazy little fella. I feel
Yeah,
like just that idea, that like mindset that he has of like he's just gonna be the best, right? Because
yeah,
he wants to. I don't know. I find myself doing that like all the time because I don't know. It's pretty inspirational. Obviously, I'm like I said, the film's a lucrative industry, right? So I have to try my best. So obviously, like I have to work hard all day, every day. There's the only way
yeah,
to do it. So
yeah.
anything by him.
I know that Monkey D. Luffy is funny
Hmm.
sometimes with his stretchiness.
He's such a funny little fella, man.
Yeah.
He does not have a single care in the world. He's just living life.
Yeah, he doesn't even care what to him. He still ends up like, happy, and he continues his life.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how life is.
Yeah,
That's how life is.
yeah, that's how life is.
I mean, you could wake up one day just like having your worst day ever, but you just have to get up and do
Yeah,
stuff.
Oh yeah, of course. Don't matter. Don't matter.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know.
I think we talked about that like on our last episode. Like we're all human, so some days we feel like we don't feel like it, but
we
at the
can fight through,
at the
and
end of the day, you just have to keep going and going.
yeah,
Hmm.
That's life. That's what life is.
But that's real though. I mean, like you said, that's what life is. You just gotta fight your way through. You gotta keep thugging it out and whatnot. Because
yeah,
obviously, especially if you have goals, you gotta reach those goals. Mm-hmm.
Like if
no
you
matter
want
how,
to cry, just cry. It's healthy.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you describe how your creative process is as a director?
Yes. I think. I mean, it ultimately depends on the project, right? But I think the first place I always go to, right, is thinking about like how you want a project to look, because I feel like based on you have to put yourself in the position of like a viewer, like, okay, if I was a viewer, what do I want to see out of this? I think that's the best place to start, because then you think about everything else. You think, okay, can we do that? Do we have the budget for this, right? How do we shoot this? How do we do this? How would we write this? And I feel like think about it from a visual perspective will dictate everything else, because it'll indicate whether or not like that vision that you have is a reality. And if not, then how do you make it a reality? How do you utilize what you have around you to create whatever it is you're trying to make inside of your head?
All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that, yeah.
It's a lot. I do that too, though, but because it's like when I want to direct something, it's like I have to get like the viewer side first, like how
Mm-hmm.
or how to catch someone's attention and how to make it look and stuff.
Of course, you have to like imagine it, because if not, then you're just writing something without actually like understanding like what it could look like, what it could end up being.
Right? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but also I was like, I want to be a director because, first of all, I want to like create something, like in my vision. But I was like, I also
Mm-hmm.
want the people to enjoy it, even though it's like I want to do it my way.
Of course,
I like being, sometimes I like being boss, but not much. But I was
that's
just
good
like,
though. I mean, mm-hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. What is your least favorite movie?
My least favorite movie. Oof. That's actually a really great question. It would probably be Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like in the community, like everybody loves Tarantino. Everybody loves Pulp Fiction. I
Yeah.
I personally feel like Pulp Fiction is probably the most overrated film I've seen. I think Christopher Nolan, a couple years after, did Pulp Fiction a lot better with Memento, just a
Yeah.
more overall interesting film.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know. I just feel like Pulp Fiction. I mean, objectively, it is an interesting piece of work, right? It's
Yeah.
very creative. It's very nuanced, and but personally, to me, it never appealed to me. I've seen the film a couple times, and like I didn't enjoy it as much as other people enjoyed it. There's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, I feel like that is probably my
That
least favorite film.
that movie was just not for you.
Yeah, it just wasn't meant for me. It just wasn't meant for me.
Yeah, yeah. I get you. Like I know some people like they're like, oh, this movie is good, and once you watch it, like you're like, nah, that's not for me.
Yeah,
I,
like
Yeah.
what's your guys' least favorite films?
uh,
There's a lot. There's a lot I don't like. There's a lot I like. So it's like, uh,
Throw one out there.
so for me, my least favorite movie that I watched so far was Jaws, but
Oh,
this
crazy.
oh my god.
it was not good. I'll
Uh
tell you
huh.
that because they were in a boat and this
Mhm.
girl kept yelling at his husband, and then once the boat got on fire,
Mhm.
and then after the ending, I wouldn't tell you this. He was supposedly dead, and then he woke back up.
Mhm.
What is that? That's my
Crazy.
least.
Hey.
I mean, crazy. You can't really meet the mind of Spielberg of what he
Mhm.
tried to take out there. You know.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your least favorite? Throw one out
Alright.
there.
I'll say the Nickelodeon one because that's all I remember. Fairly Odd. It was like the Fairly Odd movie. I
Mhm.
thought that was
Uh huh.
so bad. I didn't even get it at all. I was like, it's not because of the show, like the original show, but I was just like, I just don't get it, and I don't even know what's happening anymore.
There's just some
Real.
movies that are really bad.
Like,
Yeah, there's
I
just some
like,
films. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like the Disney Channel original movies now suck.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, I
No,
don't
I mean
like
I
them.
feel like
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like yeah, yeah, yeah. No, there was definitely an era where they were definitely more charismatic. Now they just feel like cold pieces of corporate media. But
yeah. Because honestly, I feel like the last movie I ever watched on Disney Channel was like the one called Zombies.
mhm.
Zombies?
Yeah, just because I still had this. I was in high school and I still had this little girl mind. And I was just watching Disney Channel for no reason, but I was like, and that movie came out. I was like, I think I like it. Just the main characters though, because I was shipping them. So I was like,
Mhm.
I just liked watching them. But after that, I haven't even watched Disney Channel. I was like, I think everything else is just not that good. As for me, but I was like, I also grew up, so I'm just like, it's just probably because I grew up. But I was like, but I like the old ones still, so I don't know what that is.
Mhm.
Yeah, but a lot
Mhm.
of people don't
Yeah.
even like it right now. As I've from people I've talked to, they're just like it's not even the channel's just not that good anymore. Like when we were younger.
No, I mean yeah. I mean like you have classics like Lemonade Mouth, Let It
Ooh,
Shine,
I
right?
I
want.
remember those. Yeah,
Those are the only two like those two probably were like the best ones. I feel like I don't know,
I just remember
objectively
singing
speaking.
along to like all the songs from there. Doesn't that
Oh
shine?
yeah, so iconic.
I remember that shine. I didn't like it at first, but then like, I watched it again and I liked it. Um, Lemonade Mouth, I watched this like so many times too. But then I was like,
Mhm.
High School Musical usually was when I was like a baby and just watched it again until I understood it. Um, and then I don't know what else, but there's I also really love. I guess this was my favorite one was Starstruck.
I vaguely remember Star Trek. Yeah.
That was always my favorite one. I don't know. I felt like that could happen to me. I just have
Mhm.
like a star and fall in love, but no.
Mhm.
I always thought that a girl, I'm like, oh my god, that could happen to me, but I was like, no, just go back to reality. That could never happen. But then though, I feel like anything's possible, but no.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I could agree more. Like you wish that was you, but it will never.
That cute though. It was
Huh?
like something I liked. I was like, I mean, I'm like, I would like that, but I was like, not with that guy. He was not that cute in my
I
eyes.
mean, we all have different taste.
Yes, yes, we do. That's part of life. We're supposed to have different tastes.
I know.
Oh yeah, of course.
I could
Exactly.
agree with you.
They're all different. I mean, if we're all the same, it's just That would be boring, and it also I think it would be chaos or something.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be kind of weird. I feel if we were all the same.
Okay, my question is, what films have you already done that you really enjoyed doing?
That I've worked on.
Yeah, that you worked on. Yes.
Um. Well, I don't know what films are out there that I've worked on. I've worked on a fair amount of stuff, but I don't know what I can say publicly. I'm actually checking. Okay, I mean, you know what? I'm just gonna take this to like hype up my upcoming film. So, Jenny, she also worked on this. We have a film coming out called The Evils of Elvis that I
Ooh.
directed. Right.
Ooh.
So I think yeah, just that's coming out in a couple months in April. So of this year. I don't know when this is coming out, but like that's why I specify it like that, right?
Yeah.
But the film basically follows a group of Elvis impersonators. It's set in 1990s. They're all white, right? Because Elvis is white, and then you have a black Elvis impersonator who comes in, and it basically follows that whole dynamic and how they mistreat him, how he's trying to be part of them, and all the fun, silly, nonsensical things that come with racism in the 90s.
Yes.
But yeah,
Ooh.
it's mostly a comedy. Like I said, it's coming out in a couple months. It is going to be a very fun film. I don't know where the film's going to end up, how far it'll go, but yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience with him. Neco was a great director. He's one of the best. I'll just put that out
Thank
there.
you.
I'll probably
He was one of the best.
films,
Thank you.
Hopefully
I appreciate that.
of course.
hopefully we work together again because that was fun.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
I told Jenny, please do not make me the main character. I just want to be the background. The background.
You don't be in the limelight?
No. No. I don't want to be in front. I want to be behind the character.
Aw, tough. Tough.
Yeah.
No, I was the same. I mean, when I was younger, I wanted to be an actress, and then after like growing up, I'm just like, oh hell no, I don't like the intention.
Yeah,
I
I
like to be
mean,
behind the.
nah, I mean it's real, but I don't know. At least for me, I feel like if you're gonna direct, you should know how to act as well. I don't know. It's important, right? You wanna in order to like dictate a performance, you want to be able to like do
Yeah.
something that you can also do. So it's a part of the process, right?
I mean, I would feel like I could understand an actor because I would like, I used to act a little bit. I just don't like it as much, but I will understand if it's needed.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I don't think I'm a good actor. I don't even know. I forget stuff, but I don't know if you remember that class we had. I kept forgetting my lines.
Yeah, I mean it's part of the process. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and
Yeah.
games there.
I
We
think
m- ma-
we just messed around too much in that class, though.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Too much. Everybody was working.
Too much. That was way too much. Yeah, but it was fun. I'm like, at least I made friends in that class, and it was like,
Oh yeah, it's a very that class in itself was already like a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
it's because I know myself. I'm a really shy person when it's like the
Mhm.
first time. But I only talk to people when they end up talking to me. Like they talk to me first, and then I'll talk back. But like usually, I just don't
Mhm.
talk to anybody. I'm just like in my little me by myself. But I was like, even though we had like
Mhm.
work in the group, I was like, I made friends with the whole group. It's like it was, but I'm
Uh-oh.
like it was fun because I wanted to make friends. So, but like I was saying, like by the end of that class, I was just like, I have friends now.
There you go. Hey, you know what? It's good though, cause then like it's good to stay in contact with all those people, cause then you grow in the industry together, right?
And then you
When
guys
one
can
person
know.
goes up, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like first, you don't know how to do this. Like I'm like, oh, you can do this, you can do that, or you can remove that. You know?
I know
Mhm.
someone. I
Mhm.
know how to do this or that. Or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any book on which you would like to make a movie out of?
Ooh, that's yes. There's a lot of books I'd like to make a movie on. I I think I want to. There's this book that I really like. It's called Fahrenheit 451. Not a lot of people are fond of the book, and there's been a couple movie adaptations, but they've never been good. I would love to take that book, and turn it into something like worth watching.
Ooh.
It's about a world where this dystopian future where books are burnt, like books are not allowed. So they're burned because obviously, in writing, books obviously contain like the world, world's history, right? All historical books, right, talk about history, right? And so, the firefighters, they burn all these books down because they're trying to basically limit people's knowledge. And it's about this guy who is going against that hierarchy. And I don't know, I think that is a very interesting concept. It's a very weird niche gray area, and since the book was written so long ago, right, they obviously didn't account for what technology is today. But I would love to see like how I can interpret that into something that would exist in like a world like today, with ideas that exist around today, and see like how we could take like technology now and evolve it to the point where something like that exists.
Wow. I would watch that.
Yeah. Look it up, Fahrenheit 451. It's a good book. I love the book. It's an underrated book in my opinion.
Yeah. I wrote it down.
Okay. So another question is, what were the
Mhm.
biggest challenges you faced during your films
The
making?
biggest challenges. Let's see. Well, I mean, with every project and anything that's like anything that you're working on, there's always different types of challenges, right? Obviously, excuse me. I'm not sure if it's like necessarily the biggest, right? But it's always a matter of like getting things off the ground and seeing like trying to make things like a possibility, because it's very common for you to start anybody start a project and then it gets shut down. Things happen along the way, scheduling, things like that. And so I think that in itself is already like the hardest part is like getting everything sorted, because once you're filming, once you're there, you just have to make do, whether you're happy or not. You have to make do with what you have. And obviously the idea is that most of the time, 100% of the time, by the time you get to the filming stage, you already know what's going on. You already know exactly what you're doing. It's just a matter of getting it done, right? So getting your project lifted up in any capacity is probably the hardest thing. Is how do we take just this script, this idea, and shoot it? How do we make it a reality, right? What do we need?
Yeah.
I feel like that's amazing. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
That's an amazing answer.
Yeah.
Well, I've just noticed. I'm gonna put this
Mm-hmm.
out because I've noticed that every time I'm moving, you can see my background. So I'm a Stitch fan.
Uh-huh.
You can see. So I'm like, I with the Disney perspective of it, because I'm not. I guess you could say I grew up with Disney, but now when I think of Disney, it's like no. But I was like,
Not a fan.
I never got over the Stitch character though. And I
Are you
don't know
excited
how.
for the new movie?
And yeah, I was about to get to that. Like, I don't know how I feel about that.
What do
Because
you?
I'm not a big fan of the live action movies.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
never like. I will watch the live action ones, but I never was a fan of them. So I'm kind of scared, and I don't want it to ruin for me, because also the Little Mermaid
Mm-hmm.
was like my favorite princess ever since I was little. And that kind of ruined the thing for me because it's different. It's really different from the original one, and I like when it's the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, it was really different, so it kind of ruined it for me, and I'm like, I'm kind of scared about Lilo and Stitch. I was just like, I don't want it to ruin it for me, but I'm like, also I don't really care about Lilo anyway. But I was just like, I'm gonna watch it, of course, but I was like, I just hope it's good enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's obviously like a common thing now. It's like the live action remakes for anything, everything, right?
Yeah.
So it was a matter of time before they got to Lilo and Stitch, you know. And there's obviously a couple good ones out there, but depends on the studio, the vision, whatever, things like that.
Depends on who's working on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah. I mean, I only watch it for Stitch anyway, so. Because, I don't know, as a little girl, I always liked Stitch. And
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't gotten over it, as you can see. So.
Real. Hey, you know what? I mean, it's your comfort character, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you see me go to Disneyland or anything, like if you see me go over there, it's always dressed as Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's always Stitch that I go as. Because I'm like, why not? I mean, last time I went, I bought some mini ears,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like ears decorated with Stitch stuff. And I was just like,
Oh, it's sick. That's
that's
cool
it.
though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I
Stitch, Stitch is amazing.
have another question. Yes.
Yeah.
I call him my little baby sometimes.
Your little baby?
Yes. Let
I
me
mean,
do.
there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm
Yes.
just, I'm just a little kid by heart sometimes, you know.
You know what? I can ask you guys questions.
You can, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, where did the whole idea for the podcast come from? How did you guys come up with this? How did you get here?
That's a good
Let me
question.
explain that. Okay, so let's go back to 2021.
Okay, 4 years.
2021. I had a fan account of Billy and the Phantoms,
Uh huh.
and these girls will go live all the time on Instagram and stuff, and they wanted to do a podcast, and I wanted to be on it, so I was like a guest on them and stuff, and then I saw how they would do it, and I saw some other people doing a podcast that blew up, and I was like, that sounds like fun. I want to do that. And then I, the thing about it is that I was gonna do it, but I was like, I don't want to do it by myself. I don't want someone to be my co-host and stuff. Like, I just don't want to do it by myself because I just didn't want to do it by myself. And then there were years that passed, and I'm just like, if I had time to do it, but then college and stuff did not give me time to do anything
Mm-hmm.
with all the homework and stuff. But when we graduated, the podcast was already planned, and I was gonna do it with someone else
Mm-hmm.
that also graduated with us. But at last minute, she like said she couldn't, that she had other stuff like going on. So then this is when I asked Ruby to join, and she said yeah. So after that, it's just that happened when I asked Ruby. It was around November of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So then after that, I was telling her, so we should plan something or look at stuff that we should get going and stuff with it. And then I told her, before we can start it in 2025. So we just started working on that, and then we went with the YouTube channel, and we made an Instagram, and that Spotify is still in the process.
Mm-hmm.
But we just did things as soon as we can, and we got it out by January.
There you go. No, that's cool though. That's cool though. You know, and it's gonna keep just growing, changing, right? Obviously, as time goes, right? You know,
Yeah, and
you see what works.
I always tell Ruby, if we don't get a high rating, I guess a high rating or a high audience, I don't really care. I would
Mm-hmm.
say because for me, I just doing it for the fun of it.
Oh yeah, of course, and that's how it should be. You know, you want to obviously do things like right to fulfill the soul. You know, obviously, like you have to also do things to like make money, work, whatever, right? But
Yeah.
like if you can do something for fun, just
Yeah,
go
I
ahead
think
and do it.
the first episode we did tell people like, please keep in mind that we do have lives out of the podcast. So we're not always
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, like saying if people want to talk to us and stuff, they can. It's just that like you have to like take our time because we have lives out of this.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, like right now we're looking for moderators if anybody wants to be a moderator.
Nope. There you go.
Yeah.
That's fun though. I mean, how often what's the idea? Like, what's the goal for the podcast? Where do you want to get it?
I mean, honestly, I never really thought about that. It's just me trying to do one and just
Mm-hmm.
putting it
Mm-hmm.
out there, you know? But also, I feel like if it gets big and stuff, we could get more guests on here, or let's just like promote stuff on here too, if you want. But,
Mm-hmm.
it's just for me, it would just be like the fun of it. I just want to do and see where that goes.
Mm-hmm. That's cool though. That's sick. I think that's sick.
Yeah, so I was like, it was an idea. It was just an idea for me, and I was like, I want to make it happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right now that I'm not like working basically in the film industry yet, you know, can work on this and the job I have right now, basically. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good though. I mean, but that's why you keep grinding all day, every day. That's the it's the whole point of it. Cause, like, I don't know. I've had a podcast for a while now, and it's growing and changing every time. But honestly, like, I feel like my best advice would be to just be very consistent with it. Because film, right, whether you get paid or not, whatever, you want to treat every project you do with as if it were a job, because discipline is probably one of the biggest assets in this industry, right? That is, like, it's super crucial to be on top of your stuff, know what you're doing, because it's so easy to just, like, like, you have a day off and be like, well, I don't really want to work on this today, whatever, and it's obviously it is very healthy, to have time off, but it also depends on how you go about it. And so, like, you just want to treat this like a job. You want to treat this like, okay, I'm gonna work on this. We're gonna do the podcast this day at this time. We got to make sure we have to do it. If something comes up, it has to be like an emergency or whatever. Because then you're treating it with respect. You're not. It's not just like a half-assed idea or anything.
Yeah, that happened actually. Because honestly, you were supposed to be our third guest.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that we had originally as our second guest had an emergency, actually, like an actual emergency.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, I changed that around. With him, I don't know what's happening because I haven't been in contact with him. But I was like, we'll just keep going and going until he contacts me, because I literally sent him a message and it's still not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't have
Well,
an answer, basically. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, stuff like that happens, though, right? Of course.
Yeah,
Like I said,
that
it's a learning process.
Yeah, podcast
Mm-hmm.
episode, basically.
That's
Yeah.
good though. That's good though.
Yeah, but literally the podcast idea, I think it was all me. I just put it all on Ruby to join me.
It's fun though. It's fun though. I mean, YouTube in its, like, self, right, is already, a whole other ballpark. My current job right now, I'm a producer, so I do a lot of stuff for social media, and because of that, like, I've had to, like, adapt, right? Because obviously we come from a production background, right? But producing things, working on stuff for different social medias like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, is like a whole other ballpark. You have to approach things a little differently, and so it's just a matter of been, like, adjusting my brain to, like, fit that criteria, and learning, that style has been it's been a very interesting process, because at first it was definitely a lot harder, right? It's a lot harder to grasp certain concepts, or, like, I'm just like, I just don't like this because it's not what I'm accustomed to. But over time you get used to it, and you see, like, how you can approach things and utilize your own, previous knowledge, right? Let's make this work, let's do this instead of this, whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I think it's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, like for me, it's like I'm trying to get like another job currently, because
Mhm.
the job I have right now is just basically working for like concerts and events. The security part of it and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, well, yeah, but I mean, there's not a concert or an event every single freaking day, so it's like
No, of course, yeah.
I'm broke right now, so I'm just trying to get another job that's like every day, so it's like I could get the money rolling in. And
What does okay? I have a question now. What does film represent you?
What does film represent to me? Oh my goodness. I think it's my life, man. It just represents life in general. I think the beauty of film is that you could tell any story, right? And it's all up to interpretation, and it's all up to whoever's writing it, whoever's directing it, whoever's working on it, right? They're all going to add their own, like, elements and their own life stories, right? Even as somebody as small as, like, I don't know, the production designer is going to add their own personal elements, right? And I think that in itself is already beautiful enough, like that, like, it's just about life, man. Everybody's putting their life into this, and so you're just seeing other people put their lives into a film, and seeing how they interpret their lives and how they want you to see what they think. I think it's a very beautiful thing.
It's so true. I guess I have a question too.
Mhm.
So what do you think is the toughest job in the film industry?
The toughest job. Now that is a very vague question because, objectively speaking, anything can be tough. I feel like every job obviously has its caveats, its catches, because not everybody's meant to do every job, right? You're gonna be better at some things than you are other. So I don't know if it's necessarily like one job is harder than the other one, but it's a matter of like how your own skills and attributes can be applied to like said job, right? Because you could be the best director in the world, but say you don't have the arm strength to hold up a boom mic, and so you're just a bad boom operator, right? And vice versa, right? And it goes like that with any job in the industry.
Yeah, I would agree with you because I feel like any position, any job in that industry, it's like I would treat other jobs in the same level basically. Like
Mm-hmm.
they all have an important part, you know? So it's like saying anything could be tough. I said for me, I guess from my experience, the tough part for me would be the lighting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just because I feel like the lighting for me, I try to do the best I can, but it's not the right lighting. Or it's not the
Mm-hmm.
lighting that the director wants. It's just like, for me, I feel like, in my experience, I was like, lighting is not for me. I guess for me, it would be more like, I say production design, I feel like that was fun and I was able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And also directing or screenwriting. That's my focus, but I was like,
Mm-hmm.
if other things are needed, then I would like be there. Just that lighting is the most, I guess, difficult for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like anything can be difficult. It depends on the person, or their experience on that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, lighting's tough. Lighting's definitely tough. Especially when like you have like a big space or like you have a space that isn't well lit. Like you have to like understand like okay, how do we want to achieve a certain look with what we have, right? How do we use the lights to bounce off this thing or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. That's I feel like
For sure.
the way how lighting is so important too, because I'm like it all depends on how you want it to look like, and it's like it's all work. And then also with art design, what do you want the art to look like, or what props and stuff like that is needed to make the scene look alive, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Exactly.
like all those things are important. Also, like there's sound and there's you know cinematography. Every little thing, it's like it comes together. You just need everything that's important for it to come together and make something beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Couldn't agree more.
Exactly. Because I feel like you could do a film by yourself, but I was like, for me, I feel like that's just more difficult to do a film by
Oh
yourself.
yeah.
Like you actually need a team, and it's like you work together, and
Y-
there you go, the
mm-hmm.
magic.
Yeah. I mean, especially when there's like so many other creative individuals, like-minded individuals, who equally want to work on a film. It's like, why not, work with other people, right? If you
Exactly.
have the chance to, then you should, right?
Because I feel like I always said, yeah, my focus is writing and screenwriting, but if there's another position I can work with, then I'll take the job.
Of course, yeah. Just gotta get your hands, like, you just gotta throw yourself in there, right? At the end of the day, like, you can learn from any job, any role.
Mm-hmm. They actually like. Because I always tell people, so like saying when you have a job but you don't like it, it's just like, but you want the money.
Of course. I mean, you want to get to a point where your passion becomes like your work, right? Because then you're just enjoying it all the time, right? But up until you get there, you gotta work for this type of stuff, right? And it's obviously difficult,
Yeah.
but it's part of the process, right?
Yeah,
It's part of the growing
I
process.
always tell people like, I'm barely starting out, so of course I'm gonna have a job that I don't fully like. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the job I have right now, I don't hate it or anything. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I also don't hate it. But I was like, I'm barely starting out, so this is where I'm starting at, and then I can make my way up there. Just keep grinding and working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Exactly. Oh, that's real. That's good.
and then I get
Yeah.
there. I'll get there someday. I always say I always like say this. I was like, I'll get there someday. God has my back.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, question. If you were to work on an anime film, which anime would you go for? Or
Yeah. I would do anything. Damn. Anything by Shinichiro Watanabe. Like I said, he's my favorite director. Any of his work. If he's got a project coming up, I'll hop on anything. Either that or anything from One Piece. I think that would be also so fun. Live action or anime, right? Just to have the chance to do that. I feel like would be so fantastic, right? Because it's like living a childhood dream, right? I grew up with that, so why not get to work on that?
I feel like you once he message you, you'll be like, put me in.
Oh yeah,
I'm
of
right
course.
here.
I don't care what I do. Just throw me in somewhere,
Yeah.
right?
I feel like that would be so awesome to work with the person that you most inspired or look up to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's what I want too.
One last question. If you
Yes.
were to meet with him, what is one thing that you would ask him?
Who am I meeting?
Your favorite character that you look up to.
Shoot, man. I don't know. I don't know what I would ask. Like, okay, like for example, like okay, I'll give you. I'm gonna change the like your question just a little bit, right? But like my favorite director, right? For example, is Guillermo del Toro. I think he's just a phenomenal brain, right? Like if I were to meet him, I don't even know how I would react. I would just like ask him like, what do you like to watch? What are you watching right now? Because what can you ask somebody at like what do you ask somebody whose whole job is to just make movies is like because you can't ask like obviously asking somebody like him like, oh, what's your favorite movie is so ridiculous because like his it probably changes from day to day like anybody else. So like I feel like just like the best way to like try and understand like a person's brain is just to get very casual with them, because then you see how they approach something like that, right? How in a very normal environment, in a very normal scenario, what are they like? And I think that in itself will help like influence like okay, like how they go about their work.
I feel like meeting my favorite director was just like starstruck for me. I'm like, I don't know what to say.
You're just there frozen.
Yeah, like no.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean my favorite director is Tejada. He did High School Musical, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and Descendants, and Dreams of Phantoms, of course.
Of course, goated stuff.
Yeah, I was like, at first, like me, I knew he does him. I already knew he did High School Musical and stuff, but I was like, I don't know who my favorite director is. I like a lot of movies and stuff. And then I started
Mm-hmm.
watching more and more, and then I noticed that the ones I really like a lot, and when I search up the director, it's him, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Oh, you're like, of course.
And then I see how, and then I watch, like, we watched all his movies and stuff, and I'm just like, I kind of want to work like that too. I kind of want to do that with my films. It's like, and I was like, I don't know if I do it, if I work with him, or if I meet him, I'd probably just be frozen. I don't even know what to say, like, you're a genius.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I feel like he could define talent or something. I guess, like, I want to say this story. With Julian the Phantoms.
Mm-hmm.
The main character, Marissa Reyes, Julian the Phantoms, that was her first ever job. Which I
Mm-hmm.
thought was interesting because I'm like, people always have, like, jobs before, like, characters that are not that important until they get a lead role. For her, I was like, it was her first job, and she got the lead role, so I found that so interesting. But I feel like she has such a great singing voice, and she knows how to like do her character so well. So I was just like, so I'm like, Kenny Ortega needed to pick her from all the people that would audition, and her who never had experience. I just thought that was like so amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was like, he knew what he was doing. He already like knew.
He saw the potential in her, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like, sometimes I just want to cry watching that. And then I was like, I look up to her, even though she's younger than me. I look up to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was like, it's because people always tell me, don't you like look up to someone who's older than you? I'm like, she's younger than me. I still look up to her. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care. I don't care if I'm older than her. She did it. I'm like, she did amazing.
She did it, yeah.
I would work with her one day too.
There you go.
That whole cast I would work with. Yeah, I thought it was like amazing when I first found out about it.
Mm-hmm. That's cool though. That's sick. I mean, and even though she's younger, obviously she's gonna keep growing. She's gonna keep like learning as an artist, right, and things like that. So
Like right now, she has like a solo singing career.
mm-hmm.
So I still support her and everything, because
Yeah,
I'm a fangirl. So yeah,
there you go.
yeah. I always tell people like, I'm a fangirl. I probably won't even be that active on my fan account. I would say, but I was like, but that fangirl is still in me somewhere there.
She's still there. Yeah.
There, yeah. Okay, so I am going to my last question for you,
Mm-hmm.
which is, what advice would you give to people who like want to be filmmakers?
Yes, I would say you just gotta keep working, right? Obviously, everybody in the industry is always constantly working, and so the best advice is just to like keep working, work as hard as you can, because in order to like be in the industry, you got to prove you deserve a spot in it. So you know, but at the same time, you also like want to take care of yourself, because as hard as it is like as it can be, we want to obviously like have a future where like the industry is like a good space, right? Is a space where people can enjoy themselves and aren't just like dying working, overworking on projects and stuff like that. So it's a matter of finding that balance between work and life, and understanding yourself and what you want out of the industry, and just like allowing your creative expression to exist, but also taking care of your own well-being and your own health.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's like we always say, dreams come true. So if that's really what you want to do and that's really your dream, you can't really go wrong with anything if that's really what you want to do. But also, this hard work you have to do, it's not going to happen overnight. So you have to like
Mm-hmm.
keep grinding and working, and you'll get there if you really want it that much.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I want to like take it out here because I'm pretty sure me and Ruby are done with our questions. I want to
Mm-hmm.
play it out here and take
Yeah.
questions for us.
Well, I asked you one question earlier. I think that was like my main one. Is like just about the podcast, how you guys got here. I guess what, just shout your guys' like stuff out. Like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys working on? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ruby, do you have any art stuff that you're working on?
Ooh, yes. Currently, I'm working on an eagle, a flying eagle.
There you
Cause
go. That's
somebody was
fire.
asking for that. They're like, can you draw me an eagle? I'm like, of course I
Mm-hmm.
will do that. I love to draw anything and then give them away.
Oh, that's fun. That's
Yeah.
nice.
No, something that Ruby does that I really love are like the diamond art she does. I really love that. I like seen her done it, and I was like, "Can you do me one of this person and this person, and then one of myself?"
There you
I
go.
have like 3 requests that I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did, and I'm currently doing them right now.
Yeah, because
She's
there's one that I asked about this person. I was like, "Can you give it to me because I just want to give that for his birthday."
I'm like,
there. You,
Yeah.
oh, nice. Hey, she's still cooking it up. She's got to make sure it's perfect.
yeah, I do, but it takes a lot of work, but it's still worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
see how this because of that work. I was like, I would never have the patience for that. I don't think I would. I
Mm-hmm.
need to work on being patient, honestly, because I feel like I do have patience, but then there's this certain point when I'm just like, I can't anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I was like, I need to learn how to be more patient with time and stuff like that.
The first one that I painted was a parrot on a branch.
Mm-hmm. You a fan of like doing birds, flying
Yeah,
creatures?
yeah,
Sick.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, so Neco, I'm gonna ask you a question then. What's your
Mm-hmm.
biggest fear?
What's my biggest fear? Like everybody dying. I don't know. It's probably you know. I don't know.
Everybody
That's
No
died.
hesitation on your answer, just like.
well. I mean, like I don't know. I think that's pretty. It's not. It's not a good thing. I don't think it'd be a good idea if everybody died.
I mean, it's gonna happen eventually, but that's how life is. We die and we don't come back.
We die and
Exactly.
there's people coming anyway, so.
Yeah. So, you
But I
know.
mean, we can't really do anything about it. We're gonna die someday, and there we go.
So, like,
Yeah.
I'm telling people now these days, just live life, before you die, because then it's gonna be too late.
Of course. Then everybody dies.
Yeah, then everybody dies.
I always tell people like, live like there's no tomorrow. You don't know if you're gonna wake up the next
Oh
day or not.
yeah.
Yeah, like, what if you don't wake up tomorrow and then you forget to apologize?
Like maybe God told you.
True.
Like, damn, I'm
I was
so
just talking
sorry.
about, okay, what about if you don't wake up the next day and God was like, because you need to die now. You just have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
You
It's
know,
just
it's
part of the
wrong.
plan.
yeah. I mean, that's how
It's
life is. You never know when you're gonna die, but you still live your life, having fun
exactly.
and
Because I'm like,
living your
live
best.
every day to the fullest. Because you don't know if you're gonna wake up the next
Mm-hmm.
day or not. You know?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, and I was just like, it's like, I mean, since I'm a religious person, it's just I always got into the conversation. It's like, God is gonna decide for you, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as I always say, keep working where I want, and get there. But I'm like always with God by my side, always.
There you
yeah.
go. There you
God is always by our side, always.
Yeah.
go. Mm-hmm.
hmm We all, because we're human, so we all
Yeah,
go.
we are
We
humans.
all have sad days, bad days, good days, and everything. I'm like, but at the end of the day, it's like it's all good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how God made the world: evil, bad, and good.
Yeah, but I am scared to die. Like how I am right now, I'm scared to die.
Well,
I am.
that's why you got to live life to the fullest.
That's not
You
my
said
heart.
it.
I did say it, even though I feel like I'm not ready. But that's not my choice to make.
Mm-hmm.
You
But
won't be ready until God tells you that you're
that's
ready.
why I said it's not my choice.
Yeah,
It's God. It's all on God. God. Everything that happens is because of God. Like I don't believe in coincidences or everything happens for a reason.
yeah.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I don't believe in things that just happen by accident. No, everything happens for a reason. That's what I believe in. So
Mm-hmm.
For
There you
me,
go.
I'm not scared to die at all.
I am, but it's gonna happen. You know, at some point. I just
For
I
me, I always
wish
think.
I go to heaven though. I wish I
For
could go
me,
to
I always think,
heaven.
why should I be afraid of dying when I know I lived my life good?
That's true. Good. Great point. Yeah.
I should think like that too. Well, I would say my biggest fear is, I mean, currently right now it's spiders.
Spiders pretty bad.
Spiders. Of spiders. That's my fear.
Everybody is scared of spiders.
I'm scared of a tiny little spider.
Yes, yesterday
But
I
I
was
want
looking
tiny
at
little spider that will not do anything to me. I'll just scream looking at it.
yesterday I was looking at a spider. It was on top of the camera. I was like, "Ooh, Spider Man!"
Just let it bite you for you be spider girl.
Yeah,
No, I'm scared of spiders. I can literally see a small one and just scream.
Oh no.
Literally, I have this story. Like in the old house I used to live in, I would see spiders everywhere. Like over where I
Mm-hmm.
live now, I feel like I don't see any, which I'm really happy I don't. But in my old house, I think it was a little black spider, and I had an iPad and I would like use it, and then I was in my bed and I just see the spider like it went down on my iPad.
Oh yeah. No.
I screamed and it went back up.
Tough.
And my sister was like, "You scared it away too, cause you screamed." So I went back up. I was like, it scared me.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I always had to fear spiders. It's like saying I would tell my dad every time I would like want to take a shower, but there was a spider in there. I was like, kill it before I go in.
Oh my gosh.
Please kill it before I go in there. And I want to see it dead.
I want to see it dead. Oh my
I
god.
was at that when I was younger. If I see one now, I kind of just scream. But I haven't seen one in where I live, which I feel like really proud. And I'm
Hey,
pretty
just hope it stays that way.
yeah. I'll be like, let's move out again. So, I don't know. Because California is expensive, so it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Gas prices are expensive. Everything's
Okay,
expensive.
so I have a question for you
But
guys. Do you guys ever like want to move away from California?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Like where?
The ocean.
The
What the
ocean.
hell? You're gonna be swimming with the fishes. Like,
I
hey
mean, why
buddy,
not?
up here.
Exactly. Just join up with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Feel
know,
like
the ocean
living
life.
in the ocean would be peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the future we could actually breathe underwater. Who knows?
Let's go ask the mermaids.
The
There
way
you
life,
go.
yeah, that's because I'm saying the way life is right now. Who knows? It could happen.
Yeah. We can have eventually an earthquake or like a tsunami or I don't know.
We could.
Anything can happen.
Well, I'm not. I don't think we're aliens, but we could be. I mean, I don't know. For me, it was always like, I was always like, California's too expensive. I'll go to another state. And my choice is either Florida or Tennessee.
I wanna go
Damn. Very far.
I wanna go to France or Missouri.
To what?
Missouri. Missouri. Missouri? Is that how you say it?
Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri.
No, I just say Florida because there's a whole story to that. I just wanted to go to the theme parks there, like my whole lifetime. I'm a person who loves theme parks. I would go anytime I have a chance. And I was like, I already been to Universal Studios here in California
Mm-hmm.
and Disneyland, and California Adventures, Knott's, Six Flags, and I was like, I'm kind of tired of them, especially Universal Studios because I have a pass and I go like all the time. I got tired of it, but I was like, I know in Florida there's like 5 Disney parks. I want to go to each one, and they have a bigger Universal over there, like Universal Studios, and I'm just like, and I want to experience that. I just want to go over there and experience that. And honestly, a goal I have is to go to every Disneyland in the world too.
There you go. There you go. Where you got to get started on that ASAP.
Yeah, that's on my list of before I die. But yeah, I was just like I want to go there, but I kind of want to live in Florida, and I also have a friend over there, so I was like, I won't be alone. I have a friend who lives over there, you know. And then for Tennessee, well, I have nobody over there, but I feel like it just will be very peaceful and beautiful there.
Real. Real.
Because I used to say New York, but I was like,
What about you,
much
Nico? What
people.
is one
And it's
two
cold.
countries that you would like to visit?
That I like to visit. I told you the ocean.
Dutch.
It's not a country, but
Pacific. What the hell?
oh, okay. Now, if probably Japan. Japan. That's obviously the goal. Anywhere in Japan.
Japan,
Yeah.
because of the anime and stuff.
Everything, the culture, everything, the countryside.
The
Tokyo,
Disneyland
everywhere.
Japan. Disneyland Japan. I would
Yeah,
say.
Disneyland, Japan, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been to Little Tokyo? You said.
No, I would love to go to Tokyo. I mean, I've been to Little Tokyo in LA and
Yeah.
what's it called?
What I meant.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, yeah. Of
I'm
course.
like,
Yeah,
oh, Tokyo.
of course. Yeah,
We all been there.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I've been there like twice only. I haven't been there like a lot. Cause I'm like the place I've been to the most is Universal Studios. I got sick of it, honestly.
Damn.
It was that much that I got sick of it. The only thing I don't get sick of there is the tour. I love that part.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's the only part I enjoy. Like every time I go out there, I want to go to the tour. That's the only part I enjoy. I never get tired of that. And then my sister's always like, cause let's like the film stuff. Exactly. That's why I never get tired of that.
Mhm.
But the
Mhm.
rest I do, I'm just like, ugh, I want to go to Disneyland instead. But you know how Disneyland is nowadays, really expensive.
Yeah. Sadly.
I was like, if I wanted to go, I would just be broke. I have no money at all, like zero. It's gonna kill my bank account. I mean, I like going when I can, but you know,
Mhm.
I'd rather go with my friends and my family though, because I feel like with my family, I'm bored of you people. I see you every day.
Mhm.
Question: You would film in Japan, right?
Of course. I'll film anywhere. Anywhere I'm allowed to use a camera.
Yeah. As long as you're using the camera in Japan, we're good.
I mean, even if it's like your own house. Just,
Yeah.
Anywhere. I don't walk around. I walk around with like 2 or 3 cameras all day, every day.
I would imagine you filming in Japan and there's these 3 people going, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
who's this guy? He's filming everything.
You film a guy eating. Why are you
Any.
filming?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a good experience, though. Just someone screaming at you for no reason.
Hmm.
I'll be like,
For
I'm
real.
filming the experience that they're screaming at me.
You're
Yeah.
like, what a good show. They're screaming at me.
Make it into a show.
For real.
Behind the scenes. Behind
For
the
real.
scenes of something, yeah.
Anyways, what are we gonna do now?
Well, you don't have any questions for us anymore?
No, that's pretty. But I got all my questions out there. I got my answers.
So that's good. I'm so glad you asked us that question.
Of course.
No, I had like the whole story about it.
For real.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys having here too.
Yeah.
And we're so glad you were able to be here.
The fact that we were able to talk about both film and art.
Of course. Robert de Kooning.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, I don't know more about art, but I know some things about art, so I
There you
wasn't completely lost.
Hmm.
Film art.
Come on, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And if I have anything that I'm working on, I'll let you guys know.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
If you need me to draw anything, I'll do it for you. Just for the film.
You could do the I guess you know how it's the art of a film. You could do the art of it.
Oh, the storyboards, everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm finished.
I'm not good at storyboards. You could do them for me. Literally, I'm so bad at that.
Do that.
Yeah, but I guess since you have no more questions, is there anything you would like to say to the audience?
Yeah. Go check out The Evils of Elvis. Coming soon. Whenever that comes out.
Oh, okay.
Coming soon. Also,
If it does drop, you gotta give us the date.
I got you guys. You guys will show up to the. You guys will be invited to the premiere.
That was like part of it. I was sure.
Thank you. But yeah, besides that, I don't know. I do YouTube. Like, I have a podcast called The Usual Rejects. I also have a channel called Prince Productions where I post actively. My work's out there somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
Well, check out your podcast too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Of course, no problem.
Yeah.
We are so glad that you were here and you were able to answer all those questions.
Of course. Yeah, and like I said, thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Of course.
And since I always say this, I always say my goodbye last, so Ruby. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for watching this. We really appreciate you guys watching our podcast and being patient with us. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for having us, Neco.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Bye.
So,
Right.
now me. Okay, so I want to just thank you guys for watching and thanking Neco for being here. Thank you for joining. We really had fun here with you.
Thank you.
Maybe some other day you could join if you like.
Yeah, I'll come back whenever.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for staying this far in the video. So we'll keep you guys updated on Instagram and YouTube and everything, everything we have out there. And thank you for just being here. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. And remember to always stay positive and all the love. So this has been episode 3. Art Girl and Film Girl featuring Neco Tejada. So, see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.